What's up, Moss fam? I am back. I showed major love on yesterday's videos. We got a couple new videos today. I like the documentary form. I'm still going to do the short form, which is like media content and stuff like that, commentating over that. But today we got the Alpo Martinez final scary story. It says stories hours, mouthful. Um, it was weird to me once I first heard about it because it was on Halloween. And then on top of that, the family celebrated in the middle of the street popping champagne bottles and all that stuff. But I want to know what really happened because all I heard was his car got shut up in front of a precinct. I don't know how true that is. So without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the video. Oh shit! What the fuck?
He was one of the city's most notorious dealers, famous since the 1980s for his murderous ways and mountains of cash and immortalized in dozens of rap songs and the movie Paid in Full. But it all came to an end for Alpo Martinez right here on the streets of Harlem, right where it all began.
Yeah, they got that nigga. Yeah, they got him.
Wednesday, October 27th, 2021. Previous kingpin and ruthless hitman of Harlem, Alpo Martinez, got off a phone call with former criminal affiliate, AZ. The conversation revolved around inking a contract deal where him, along with Alpo, would collaborate on ventures like film and interviews based on their backstory and Alpo's life. The signing would be scheduled for Sunday, October 31st. But the meetup never happened. As no documents were ever signed, Alpo Martinez, in a hauntingly strange twist of events, was murdered in cold blood. The same Halloween Sunday, the agreement was to be signed in writing. Before the final moments of his life, Alpo was playing a dangerous game. Previously notorious for being a kingpin back in the 80s, there was one other notable history to his name in terms of the gang culture. He was labeled the snitch that sold out his fellow affiliates to dodge capital punishment and a life sentence when the law came knocking on his door.
Huh? How did the police know?
The police?
Right.
I told them.
You told them too?
Yeah. I had to confess to all these murders and all that.
Oh, okay. Just in case it came up later.
Right. When you in that situation as far as dealing with the government or cooperating with, you don't just tell them. You got to tell your involvement too.
Okay.
You don't just tell what other people did. You got to tell what you did too.
Alpo served around 25 years instead of providing investigators with information on his affiliates and confessing to 14 hits, and was given a new identity and life in Lewiston, Maine, under the false name Abraham Rodriguez, where he lived under witness protection.
And some call a snitch after he turned on his associates to cut a deal for less prison time. In 2015, he was released from prison after serving more than 20 years.
Alpo Martinez wouldn't be able to let go of his former status, and his ego led to making the first grave error in his decision, making that lead to his end. Videos began emerging of Alpo back in the streets of Harlem, in broad daylight, without a care. To those who were once affiliated with him in the past, Alpo Martinez was an attention junkie. Being arrested and turned into an informant meant he lost in the eyes of the gang culture, but denial and his heavy want to be the king of Harlem led him to not accept defeat and instead parade along the city as proof he was still the feared man of the old times.
Alpo lost in the game. You got busted, you became a snitch, everybody's calling you a rat, so you lost, but he didn't accept the loss, bruh.
Before the very friends and family of those he switched sides on and got imprisoned, Alpo was living his best life, riding luxury vehicles, motorcycles, and skydiving. He was living as if he had never wronged those that trusted him. Alpo and his
But where was he getting all his money from? Renting or not, where was he getting all his money from?
far as releasing a documentary detailing the how and where of one of his most notorious homicides and betrayals, the murder of his closest friend and business partner, Rich Porter.
Bang, bang. Richard slumped over, and it happened. It happened right here. It happened right here.
At this light.
At this light, it happened.
Alpo was having the time of his life crossing activities off his bucket list, not knowing that soon, that list would never be finished. The final moments of Alpo's life were set in motion on the night of Halloween, October 31st, 2021. Alpo, now comfortable and settled back into Harlem, got ready and made his way to a Halloween party to celebrate and continue enjoying his freedom. His costume of choice was blue jeans, a black shirt, a black leather Louis Vuitton coat with a matching Louis Vuitton hockey mask. Some sources like popular urban entertainment platform, Flat TV, claimed the mask was to hide his identity. So maybe Alpo, even if his ego blurred his sense of logic, was aware that his life could be taken for his past actions. That same night, just hours before he lost his life, someone who identified him as his son posted up Alpo on their Instagram profile as the night was progressing. His son would be revealed to be the rapper Paparazzi Poe. At around 3 a.m., Alpo had his fill of the night festivities and was getting ready to hit the road. He would exit the party on West 147th Street and Frederick Douglass Boulevard and entered into his red Dodge Ram just around 3:20 a.m. At that time,
What's crazy is I thought they said it was a Jeep at first.
an assailant would open fire, hitting Alpo 5 times, about the body, including his chest, chin, and arm. Alpo Martinez, in an attempt to escape, as blood was gushing from his wounds, stomped on the gas, and his vehicle took off. Gasping for breath, he was able to drive about 4 blocks before losing consciousness and crashing into a parked car.
Right in front of the precinct, too. You heard?
Alpo laid in the driver's seat, drawing his last breaths. Around 3:30 a.m., the cops were already alerted of the shooting in the area and arrived on the scene to find Alpo in his vehicle. Paramedics and law personnel were at the time unaware of who he was, and his ID was registered to his witness protection alias, Abraham Rodriguez. Alpo was rushed to Harlem Hospital Center, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Alpo Martinez was living a life on the edge. No matter how much he pushed forward to reclaim his title as the King of Harlem, his past followed. As his passing became published officially by news outlets, there was a mixture of grief and celebrations. While his son mourned his father's passing on his favorite holiday, Halloween, which was just 2 days before his birthday, others, like Rich Porter's niece and gangsters in the streets of Harlem, were popping champagne, celebrating his end.
Yeah, they got that. Yeah, they got him.
His murder became worldwide news. Every news station was posting the untimely demise of the kingpin that once held Harlem in the palm of his hand.
These are exclusive photos of Alpo Martinez on previous visits to Harlem in recent years. But his latest visit turned out to be his last. On Sunday, about 3:20 a.m., police were called to Frederick Douglass Boulevard near West 147th Street. A dark red pickup truck crashed into parked cars. The driver was shot 5 times in the chest through the car window and killed.
I heard 5 shots, 1 and then four consecutive shots after that.
It was Alpo, but his driver's license and other IDs had his witness protection name of Abraham Rodriguez with a Lewiston, Maine address.
Alpo Martinez's homicide marked the end of an era. His name was memorialized throughout the hip-hop culture around the world, often used as an analogy from the classic movie Paid in Full that depicted his betrayal to his best friend, Rich Porter. As far as everyone was speculating as to the cause of Alpo's murder, it was due to him turning informant, breaking the code of the gang culture, and placing associates behind bars for his freedom. Even law enforcement believed that to be the reason.
Somebody just, I guess, maybe went out for revenge, but it's a sad situation, and I wish they stopped doing this gun.
Others, like a senior law enforcement official, said investigators believed Alpo Martinez likely was back in the illegal trade in Harlem, and they discovered a trail of packets led from his open window to down the street, hinting that he tossed the stash out of the car in a panic when he was shot. However, more rumors began circulating as to
so he was still moving drugs, basically.
what the possible motive could have been. According to Vlad of Vlad TV, he heard that Alpo was involved with a girl that was already in a relationship with another guy, and when the guy confronted Alpo, he was disrespectful to his face, and the guy, in retaliation for being disrespected, took Alpo's life. Alpo's son was asked about his father's passing in connection with the same female involvement theory, and his son answered unsure of what happened. But from his perspective, it had been a spur-of-the-moment reaction for the shooter being embarrassed by his father or something along those lines, because no one, up to that point, touched him, even with how much he was moving around freely.
Like, who do you think will kill me? Me? Yeah. Who? Like, they say it's a problem with some girls or something.
Yeah, bro. I don't know who is stupid enough to even try to bust a move like that. Like, whoever that was, bro, they either, he had to embarrass them or something.
From the viewpoint of his past criminal affiliate, AZ, Alpo took his own life when he gave up the second chance in Maine after testifying against his friends and returned to Harlem. Amidst all the rumors and theories, investigators would be on the trail of a suspect, and in February 2022, reports broke that 27-year-old Shaquem Parker was arrested for the hit of Alpo Martinez. According to reports of what happened, Alpo Martinez was taken out over his habit of driving dangerously down Harlem streets on his motorcycle. A law enforcement official told news outlets that Alpo had crashed with Parker over the summer when Alpo, riding his motorcycle, brushed past Parker in a way that showed disrespect. That was enough to push the 27-year-old to the point of revenge. Parker is being charged for taking the life of Alpo, along with criminal possession of a weapon. Parker was already apprehended at Rikers Island on a prior case by the time he was charged as the suspect in Alpo's homicide. Alpo Martinez got strung up on the power that came with being the popular kingpin and feared figure he was, the respect from everyone around him, always being known wherever he went, the trips and expensive lifestyle, the ability to get anything he wanted. Alpo was addicted to it. Ultimately, it consumed him and brought him back to the same streets that made him, where he attained that power.
Honestly, I think when it comes to like old school stuff, that's a lot of people that used to do whatever they used to do, like drug dealing and all that from the back of that time. To this day, they still try to live off their name and still try to uphold their name. And it's like, it's pointless. It's not gonna get you nowhere. Nobody cares about all that stuff no more. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. Let me know what y'all think about this whole situation and what's y'all opinion on it. Do y'all think it was stupid for him to still try to live out his name after what he did and continue on? But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. I'm gonna continue reacting to these good documentaries. Love is love. Make sure I get this video to 10 likes. I'm saying each video I'm trying to get it to 10 likes. I'm saying so my videos could be seen more. And we going to 800, trying to get to 2,000 by my birthday, which is May 26th. And I'm gonna catch you in the next video. Stay safe.